Western media has, okay, China's a big deal, but I'm just going to use the United States. I'm from the US, so I'll use the United States as an example, right? That could be representative of other parts of the world too. A typical American has China on the mind not very often, right? Unless you happen to be in trade or politics or something like this. But China's like out there amongst other things you can worry about. Europe, Central America, wherever, right? So China's there. So a news media is saying to themselves, all right, what am I going to write about China? Okay, here's an entire nation full of a million stories. What can I report about? Right? That's going to be that one China story that this American might read. It's always going to be something that makes people unnerved because otherwise no one's going to bother to read it.
As I say to everyone, I've heard so much, they would say, why did the West never do positive stories on us? And I said, plane lands isn't news. Plane crashes is. Yeah, this is what happens.
The media bias is it's the fact that the media is an industry, right? And it's feeding people what they want to hear. And
which is sad because I think we're getting stupider.
Yeah. That's why, like, for instance, my attitude about the COVID-19 coverage that we've done in Beijing is, look, if you try hard enough, you can find something horrible to say about everything all the time. It's the glass half empty syndrome, you know? You can always find something to make people alarmed. And what is the worst thing that can happen out of this situation is like people losing rationality.
Right.
You know, I mean, this is a virus, and I don't want to say what it's like that, or you can get into a huge argument about whether this is better or worse, or that we're going to have to deal with this humanity. But let's not lose our humanity in the process of figuring out how to deal with it. This has pissed me off about the Western media too, is like 2 weeks ago, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, they said, all right, now we're going to start reporting asymptomatic carriers because we found people who tested positive for the virus, but they're not sick. And so immediately the headlines were, China has, covered this up. No, if you go back 2 months ago, they said, we are not going to be tracking that. It was very public. I had it in my stupid Beijinger blog. And if I had access to it, everybody else did too. They clearly said at that point in time, we're not tracking that, everybody. Publicly stated. So 2 months later, when they say, all right, we're going to start tracking it, people freak out as if
I can't believe they covered it up. See, this is it's lazy journalism. And this is the stuff that drives me nuts.
Yeah.
And this misinformation.